first things to do, whether it's a buck hut or anything for that matter, is open your boxes, double check all your hardware, parts, make sure everything is there. One thing to point out is that you do need to open both box 1 and 2, as the pieces and different hardware is mixed throughout. It's not that you can just open box 1, work through it, and then move on to box 2. No, you will need to go through both at the same time. But as you can see, we're lucky enough to have a nice air-conditioned garage, big enough that we can start a lot of this assembly rather than doing it all in the field. If you have that option, it definitely is a lot easier, especially because this week here in Pennsylvania, we're looking at temperatures in the 90s. So again, just having this little creature comfort is nice. You can see we got a lot of our parts laid out. You can see the flooring, the canvas covering, the window slides, all of our hardware. Then down here we got some handrails, roof supports, braces. There's the main roof piece right there, some more of the roof framing, and then here you can see your legs. Some of them do have the hardware already started in, just hand tightened, and here's one of the support pieces laying out a while. The one thing to note and keep in mind before you get everything fully assembled is kind of to take an idea of the ground that you're going to be setting this on. This is the second one of these that we're doing, so we've learned from the first one already. You have your A and B legs, and you can see they're two-piece with a support there in the middle that you put together. But right here you can see that you do have adjustability. Now the only thing with the adjustability in these legs is that only 2 of the legs will have that, that adjustability in them. So you do need to account for that. Like if the ground is on one end of where you're going to plan to place the blind, uphill, downhill, however you're going to do that, you do kind of got to think about that ahead of time so you can place your legs accordingly to best fit the terrain. Bring you over here. The next thing to show out, we do have a base already put together. My father's been working on this one here. He actually started it yesterday. The base comes in 4 sections, so you'll have 1, 2, 3, and then of course here on the end your 4th one. Comes in 4 sections. These 2 pieces here, these support pieces that come up, they are going to be where your entranceway is, where there's some handrails and where the ladder comes up and bolts to the frame. There's some support that goes along the bottom here, that runs along the whole edge. So you do have those support pieces, and then everything with more supports in the middle bolts together right here. Now he already has all these done. The one thing, again, with this being the second one that we've assembled, did learn that here you can see if you get, let me come back over here actually, if you do decide to go with the M369, the swivel chairs, which we got 2 of these, 1 for each blind because we're testing them out versus a regular blind chair that we can take in and out easier. You do see they have the holes already set here for 2 of these chairs if you go with that. We did find that in the first one we did and put the chair in, as you can see we've got bolts in these 4, but he did leave the bolts out in this one because we're going to be putting a chair right there. So you can leave those bolts out to when you go to put the chair in. It just saves you a step of putting bolts in ahead of time and then having to take them back out to get the chair. One thing, pretty self-explanatory I would feel, but follow your directions. Like I said, check your hardware, check that you have all your pieces, of course, as it would be for anything you get, in large, lots of pieces, large boxes like this. Here you can see it comes with, these are your stakes, the ground stakes to hold it down. Again, support pieces, roof pieces, railings there. These are for the sides where, the blind structure itself. Different brackets for holding everything together, your window slides and the canvas under there. It's pretty straightforward. You only need 2 size wrenches really, I believe, throughout the whole thing. They did keep the hardware pretty simple for this. One thing you are definitely going to want, a set of these right here, some sort of snips, cutters, because there are tons and tons of zip ties holding all this stuff together in the packaging. All right, so we have our buck hut pieced together. This one we actually did, you can kind of see behind me, put it together in the garage, and now we're getting ready to transport it to the one farm. So we're getting it put on the trailer here. So it was standing. We had it just standing back here. Just tested out in my parents' yard. So what I did, brought the trailer over, backed it under, and what we're going to do is we're looking for a brace so we keep all of our weight on the platform instead of, because these pieces aren't solid, so you don't want to be putting any weight on that. So what we'll do is we'll get a board, put it up here at the nose of the trailer. That way we can get it right here, this part of the platform on there, and then we'll be able to get the rest of the legs and everything up there. This is something we're doing just because we had this one put together just to test it all out. So we'll see how this works and we'll be able to get it to the farm. We have the buck hut on the trailer in position. Now we just need to get it strapped down. One thing we did do, you can see the blue straps here, just kind of holding the frame, because all that these pieces do is they just slide together over each other. So we just have those on just snug, not tight, just to kind of hold it, keep it from separating. And then we did set it on some 4x4s, as you can see, because we want the weight of it to be on the platform and not on the structure of the cage, which those pieces again aren't as structurally sound as the rest of the frame or the platform itself. Also took the ladder off, you can see laying here along the side, and then what the plan is to run straps from there up around the platform, around and back to that ring, and then we'll also run back here at the bottom of the platform to the trailer. And then as you can see, we are a little bit, I mean they're right, just about right in line. The camera angle's a little tough, but just about right in line with the fenders, just an inch or two out past, not much. But it's all on there and we'll get it transported to the farm now. Alright, so we have our spot picked out. We're going to go tuck in over here by that bigger tree in the background is where we're going to place the buck hut. So what we're doing now is we have Phil on the tractor. He's got the bush hog. He's going to cut us some paths. We're about a month and a half ahead of the season, so we're not too worried about, you know, down here making all this noise and commotion getting this in. Plus, there's buildings around the property here at the farm, so they're used to it. But anyways, so we're looking to go back in along where that tree is over there. We're going to tuck it in there. We'll be able to cover our bottom, be able to cover the food plot here, which I'm standing on the edge of, and then the pond is also right up over in there. So we'll be able to cover all three areas, and we're getting some paths cut in, and then we'll keep you updated and show you as we get things progressed here. right, guys, so we got the buck hut completed. As you can see, it's up here behind me. I'm gonna take some time here to go through everything. I know, as you already seen, some of the setup process, some of the things we did, with putting things together. But now I'm gonna go over the entire thing and kind of show you some of the different features and things to point out about the buck huts here. We'll start at ground level. So first thing you'll see, and you saw about the stakes, it's nice big pieces of rebar, like all four corners. So that makes it, it really will hold it down. We had some pretty good storms go through Pennsylvania, put it through the test right off the bat, and it did not go anywhere, did not have any issues, so that was good. You can see here, everything is powder coated. You have your leg pieces, which they come in two sections, and then you bolt together here with these brackets. All the legs are going to be the same in that aspect. And then you have your cross supports, which you can see again here. They come and they will bolt together right here in the middle. Same over here. And then you can see from underneath the platform again. And the way that we placed this blind on the terrain, on the ground that we're on, so two of the legs, as mentioned before, are adjustable. So for us, it's a very, very slight downslope from the pond up behind us here, but we put the adjustable legs on the back side. So these front two, they're going to be what you have. There's no adjusting these front two as is. And then you can see here, these back two, you got some adjustment holes. There you go, if you can see them. And you can see we have them slightly adjusted here in the back. And actually you can see this one, there is one hole there where we have bolted, so you can tell the ground slightly unlevel, but that's the nice thing with the adjustability there. Coming around here, we'll go up to it now. You have your ladder. It's a nice heavy ladder. You can see it comes together pieces and more of the brackets like the legs. So you'll go ahead and put them together. The one nice thing where the ladder does connect up there to the bottom of the frame, it does give you adjustability for, again, if you're on some slope or terrain, the ladder, will pivot and be able to accommodate for it. If you're, got a slight bank or something uphill or downhill, it'll just change the angle of what your ladder is. So we'll go up here, and you got your nice handrails here on each side. The only thing I would say that could possibly make this a little bit better would be is right here, is you have your ladder come to this part out here and have yourself a little platform. I mean, not that it's very difficult, it's nice as it is, but just one of those extra little features here. And then you got your zippers for your door. Trying to do this one-handed without falling down the ladder. All right. And we already have some blind chairs in here, so we kind of went with two options. I'll touch on them since just opened up and you see them. We have the Hawk blind chair, which we can take this one in and out. And as mentioned before, we have the Millennium seat that is designed similar to like a boat seat here. Right, that orange collar, the whole seat will pull out of there, so you leave the base in, it's bolted to the frame, and then the rest of the chair can come out if you want. You can see it spins, pivots, everything like that. Same with the Hulk chair. So we're just kind of seeing what our, feelings are towards each and which one we like. We got one of each. We have, like I said, we have a second buck hut that we're doing. So we have one of each for each of them. We'll see which one we like more. You can see the floor. Nice padding here. It's nice and soft, quiet. And then we'll come into the blind here. Let me open something up a little bit. So you got zippers here on your main windows. And then you have magnets that hold it, top and bottom here. The one nice thing with these windows is they are black, so when you're looking from the outside, as you saw, it's going to look a little more similar to when the windows are closed and when they're open with the black inside here, as compared to some of those ground blinds where everything's camo, and then when you open it up, it goes from being a camo where the window is to a big black blob. So just to help with that a little bit, these windows, you can see you can go up And then again, with the magnets, nice thing is you can take it and you can go right to your rail up top here. Keep that up out of the way. And you have a nice big window here front and center. One thing is each side, the rails and where the windows are, you see these bars right here. They are adjustable. So I'll show you here on this front window. So you undo that. Oh, this is gonna be difficult with one hand with the camera. So you undo both of them, and then this bar, you can slide it. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed, so it would typically be a little bit smoother if you had two hands, but you can slide it, and then when you get it where you want, lock it back down. And then once you're locked down, again, you change your window height, and then you can let this hang over like that. And then you can use this also as a shooting rail. So if you're hunting with a gun or rifle, something like that, that will definitely be nice to have a built-in shooting rail. As for archery, you're going to want to have it, you know, a little more open if you're using a vertical bow. Here, you can kind of get an idea. So here's our door where we came in, which the door does have a window in the back so that you can see through there. And if you could shoot out of there, it's a smaller window, more for just viewing and keeping an eye behind you. And then on the end, you see you got these narrow, tall windows on each end. And then in the front, you have the big window, which we were already looking at there. So I'll open one of these smaller, narrow windows on the end here now. Sorry guys, I'm doing this all one-handed here. Again, the magnets are nice, keeps everything up out of the way. And there, let me back up to the other end of the blind here to give you an idea. So you have your seat, and then you have your window, and you can see that bar is up a little bit. You can see that they can lower down so that, again, you can open it up more for archery if you need there. Have those nice tall windows around each side. So you've seen how the windows work. They all work obviously the same. So we'll go ahead, let's close up our door like we're actually gonna be in here hunting. It's got nice heavy zippers on the door. So when you have that closed up, you can see here, there's plenty of room. I'm in here walking around, as you know, designed for two guys. Plenty of space. So I sit in this Hawk chair and spin around. You know, I gotta lean over to reach, you know, the other chair over there. So it's, again, plenty of space for if you got two people. You have plenty of headroom, plenty of height, and you can see the different supports. And with the canvas covers, where you have your support pieces that come up when you bolt this whole roof section together, these all come in pieces, so you got to bolt them all together up here. There is a nice plate up here for support, and you can see that there's added support in the canvas where everything, you know, comes together, where it's in contact with the roof, again on that end. And then each of these posts, these support posts for in here, you can see they come up, they bolt to the top, this piece of the frame that goes the whole way around. And you have, of course, your sliders for your door, your window, which your door you want up all the way. And then the way that the canvas goes on here, so the first thing you kind of saw, what we did was you wrap your outer wall canvas. It comes the whole way around. You start here, and then you can see it's got this big zipper, basically as the seam. So you just wrap it around and you zip it together. And then what you do is, as you're going around, like say you start here at the back door, you start by taking these bungee pieces, and on the top here, that's what these little knobs are for. You put these on, and as you work your way around, hanging, you're wrapping the canvas around, you attach them. You know, you don't do every other one we found, or do every other one, not every single one we found, just so you can get it around till you can get, again, that zipper, and then you go back through, get them all in place. You have them all around the top, and then they wrap down around the bottom of the frame here, the main part of the base, so it holds the bottom tight as well. And then once you have your side on, the roof piece, that is a separate piece of canvas. It does give you a good, I'd say almost 6 to 8 inches of coverage. Let's see if I can get this. You can see the coverage here. If I can put my hand behind it, it overlaps where the wall comes down. Hopefully I got that on camera. And then, so yeah, it's gonna come down right about to here. So you see it does have plenty of coverage where it comes down to keep any type of water, you know, rainstorms as it blows through. So it's a 2-piece canvas, so it's not like you got to try and pull this whole thing over it and fit it at one time. It makes it a lot easier to, again, wrap your sides and then put the roof on. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope if you're looking into a blind or an elevated blind for your hunting, and you were considering looking at these buck huts along with some of the other options out there, hopefully what I was able to show you and, you know, what we experienced and went through with this helps you make a decision on what you want to do. I will say that, again, we haven't hunted out of it yet, so I can do a follow-up video on that once we've actually sat in it here in the season coming up here in a couple months, and you know, really been able to hunt out of the blind itself to give an update on, you know, some different things that we find out as we go. But as for initial setup, you know, overall impressions, you know, getting it out of the packaging, putting it together, I gotta say I'm very pleased with the quality, and I'm by no means getting paid or did not get this from Millennium. I had to buy this like anyone else would, so this is just an overall honest opinion on what we went through putting it together. From the quality of, you know, the frame, putting it together, the canvas, we'll see how that goes. That might be our one concern, is to see the longevity of how long that canvas will hold up, especially some of the elastic pieces that, you know, those bungees that hold it together before they kind of start to stretch and, you know, dry rot out and different things like that. But we'll see over time. But for the price point, once you compare to, again, like a fiberglass or a hard blind, till you do that, get a base with it or build a base, especially with today's lumber prices, it's a big price difference. So we decided to go this route. We got 2 of them we're going to try out, and yeah, I'm excited to see just how these things do for us this year. It's the first, I mean, I've hunted out of ground blinds before, very rarely, but was always more of a tree stand guy. But just here in this property and another property we have, there were some smaller trees, you know, areas that we wanted to be in but couldn't necessarily get a tree stand. So that's where we came to this option of putting an elevated blind to see just how it works for us. But if you are in the Pennsylvania or Maryland area, go check out Marcio's Sport Hut in Hanover, Pennsylvania. That's where I picked up these 2 buck huts that we're using. Go in there, give those guys, check out their website, give them a call. They do have these buck huts in stock, and that's as of the time I'm making this video. So if you're coming from further away, call ahead if you're looking to get one, but those guys will hook you up and can get you a buck hut of your own. But yeah, if you have any other questions about this video or anything that I might not have covered, I hope I covered it all. Feel free to ask questions, drop them in the comments below. And I would appreciate it if you did like this video. If you got anything out of it, please consider giving it a like. And I'm going to try and keep putting more content out here on the channel, so consider subscribing to the channel. Hopefully you enjoy some of the other videos. We'll have some more stuff coming out here as soon as possible. And yeah, thanks again for watching, and have a great day.